2,562 voting no. For Judge Alberto Lamoreno, we have 13,980 voting yes and 2,002 no. As for Judge Arthur Barcenas, that's 13,716 yes, 1,977 no. And Judge Maria Senzon, we have 13,136 yes, 2,156 no. As for the presidential race, we have 9,362 voting for Joe Biden, Democrat, and 6,941 voting for Republican, Donald Trump. So this is, again, the fourth round, the latest results we've received. It's a 44 out of 67 precincts. We're seeing it about an hour in between each round that we're getting results in. Thanks, Adriana. Thank you, guys.
Right on.
Great night. We're going to have a great night, and we're going to have, much more importantly, we're going to have a great 4 years. But I want to thank everybody. It's a tremendous group of people. Come on over here. This is the media. They're very nice. They treat us. Come on over. Everybody, come on over. Young, attractive people that know politics, and someday, some of the people in this room, I predict, some of them will be president, I hope. But they've been working very hard, and I know you'll be here all night, and I think you're going to see some tremendous results. And, we had rallies. There was love at those rallies, and there's never been rallies like that. There has never been, and I say it in front of the media, and they can check it. They can fact check it if they want, but there's never been anything like we just had. And I think a combination of the debate, maybe the debates, but the debate, certainly the second debate, and the rallies it was a good combination. And
in person, but also because of the COVID situation up here. Obviously, Wisconsin is a hot zone in our nation right now, and they are using the largest space that they could find in order to get people to come in here to vote. Interestingly enough, I've spoken with both parties up to this point, and they basically are saying the same thing, that it's going to be very close. We are both very confident. The Democrats seem to be particularly confident about the fact that so many people voted earlier. Republicans seem to be confident because of the fact the weather is nice and so many people are coming out. But as you mentioned, Josh, earlier, places like Milwaukee, places elsewhere in the state, I mean, their votes could take well into the night, even into the wee hours of the morning, to be all counted. Just across town from here, those 55% of the votes that I referred to earlier, they are already being counted in another massive location, and those votes are being counted as the day goes on. So at some point, this very close race, one of the swing states, one of the states that put it over the top for President Trump last time, is going to make its call. And we'll be here for it. Josh, back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. That's NBC's Kevin Tibbles joining us from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Let's turn now to Philadelphia, the birthplace of our nation, the home of independence. It is a city that Joe Biden absolutely needs to see a strong turnout from if he hopes to win this battleground state. Here is how the former vice president was received in the city of brotherly love just last hour. Joining us now from Philadelphia is MSNBC's Ali Velshi. Ali, tell us exactly where you are in the city and what you're seeing from voters.
I'm not falling for that, Joshua. I know you better than that. You know everywhere I am before I even know. I'm in Overbrook, which is...
Wait a minute. That's not fair. What are you doing to me, Ali? I don't know every place.
You know where... You're the guy, it's like a trivia game with you. You know where everything is, and you know that this is a really interesting area, Overbrook, where I am. It's west of West Philly, a little bit north. It's actually right where Philly becomes those suburbs we talk about all the time. With those suburban women and those collar counties, we're on the Philadelphia side of that. So this is Overbrook. And Common was here a little earlier, actually, at this particular voting place. This is the Free Library of Philadelphia, Overbrook branch in Philadelphia. The public library is called the Free Library. A lot of turnout here. So the issue here, what you just talked about, is not whether Joe Biden wins most of the votes in Philadelphia. That's a given. Hillary Clinton won most of the votes in Philadelphia. Barack Obama won most of the votes in Philadelphia. It's turnout and by how much. Because as Donald Trump goes around the state, including some counties in the western part of the state where fracking is a big deal, and tells everybody that Joe Biden's against fracking, he's trying to drum up those votes. Can Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and places like that overcome anything Donald Trump is gaining? Now, bottom line is the spread has narrowed according to polling in Philadelphia. The spread that Joe Biden had has become narrower and is now within the margin of error. So turnout in Philadelphia is going to be the biggest part of this thing. Turnout has been very, very high, by the way. I've been driving around Philadelphia all morning, talking to voters, looking at polling places. Turnout's been very strong. It's a little quiet as we see it right now, but people are coming and going. A lot of early voting turnout. Here's the issue, Joshua. As you know, if this whole election comes down to the 20 electoral college votes in Pennsylvania, it's going to matter because they're not counting some of the. You can mail in your ballot today in Pennsylvania as long as it's postmarked by today and it gets here by Friday. And they're going to count those ballots on Friday. 7 pro-Trump counties in Pennsylvania have decided that they're not counting some of their ballots early as well. So it's not clear we'll have a full result out of Pennsylvania, but we're going to be watching for the trends out of Philadelphia, out of Pittsburgh, the Philadelphia County, Allegheny County, and then all the counties around where we are. I'm up against Montgomery County right now, which is one of the Philly suburbs. That was actually a strong county for Hillary Clinton in 2016. We're going to watch how those suburbs come out as well, and we should be able to garner a trend early in the evening, despite the fact that we may not have final numbers yet from Philadelphia. Joshua?
Ali, before we gotta let you go, I wonder what you were looking for tonight. You reported earlier today that there's a deployment of the National Guard at Philadelphia City Hall down in Center City in advance of possible unrest that may come tonight. You've been in different states pretty much every week on your program on MSNBC. Velshi talking to voters nationwide. What is your sense of where people's heads are at? I wonder if the scene at City Hall with the National Guard is reflective of kind of tensions that a lot of people are feeling about whatever happens tonight with the election, or whether another theme has kind of risen to the surface for you.
Well, that's interesting because Donald Trump did talk about it this morning on Fox News, and he tweeted about potential violence in Philadelphia. Now, as you know, there was a police shooting of a black man last Monday, and the mayor and the governor were very clear about the fact that the National Guard presence that we saw at City Hall was actually related to possible tensions resulting from that, not election stuff. Now, we do know Philadelphia is one of those cities that has got contingency plans in case of election night violence. But in fact, I was just at City Hall half an hour ago. National Guard's cleared out of there. So I think they don't want the association of them being here about the election. I will say I've spoken to people here in Overbrook, just a little west of West Philadelphia where the shooting was. This is a mostly African-American area. Nobody I'm talking to is talking about violence. They're talking about voting. They're talking about the fact that they've cast their ballots. They've been able to cast their ballots. So I think Donald Trump wants people to think that there's going to be violence in places like Philadelphia. I got a very close eye on what's going on here. I'm not seeing any indications of that. As for the rest of the country, I think there have been a lot of governors, a lot of secretaries of state calling for calm, and hopefully that's what prevails, Joshua.
Thank you, Ali. That is MSNBC's Ali Velshi, testing my geographic knowledge of the city of brotherly love at the Overbrook Branch Library on Haverford Avenue in Philadelphia.